Tomorrow marks 75 years since an event which helped define modern Britain. The ship, the Windrush, arrived from the Caribbean, bringing with it one of the first large groups of West Indian immigrants.
They came to plug a jobs gap created by World War II. And Windrush has now come to symbolise a generation of Commonwealth citizens who reshaped society. Derek Johnson has been meeting people who built a new life here in the south.
In Jamaica, they couldn't find work. Discouraged but full of hope, they sailed for Britain. Citizens of the British Empire coming to the mother country with good intent.
Empire Windrush arrives in Britain in 1948, with hundreds of passengers from the Caribbean responding to Britain's post-war labour shortage.
Why have you come to England? To seek a job.
Many were ex-service personnel, such as Alford Gardner, who stayed and built a new life.
Just a happy journey. 9% of us decided we work for 5 years just to have enough money to go home and invest. There's that much work to do, that much money you could earn. It's only to find when you come, there wasn't that money to earn.
The Windrush passengers were among the first wave of people from what are now Commonwealth countries who came en masse to the UK to work. Thousands arrived in Southampton on passenger ships such as this one. Those who stayed in the city congregated in the Nicholstown area, where there's now this mural. Many, though, found a chilly welcome. Jamaican-born Beverley Dowdell came in 1971 as a fully qualified nurse.
I was asked by one of the senior nurses, how much money did you bring with you? Because so many of you people come here and expect the British government to pay your fare back. Well, I was a young woman, I was pretty mouthy, I still am, and I told her she didn't have to worry about that.
People had to rely on each other, so they started to develop their own cultures. They were only really allowed to live in certain parts of the city, so that brought them closely together. And of course they traded information and talk and gossip about the experiences that each of them had.
This event, organised by Black History Month Southampton, is about connecting people in their communities, including younger people, with the past.
I obviously knew about Windrush, but I didn't know as much, and hearing stories from people's point of view, live and direct, it's so warming, it makes it become real.
It's easy to not think about it and not question it, especially as times get more progressive. It's easy to forget, but I think things like today have shown how much your current identity is impacted by the generations that have come before.
There's no doubt that for those who arrived on Windrush or who came after, prejudice and discrimination were part of everyday life. And of course, many problems still exist in society today. Windrush, though, has become a symbol for all those people who rebuilt and reshaped Britain, turning it into a truly multicultural country. Derek Johnson, ITV News, Southampton.
And it is Windrush Day tomorrow, and we'll have more stories for you on the programme.
Now, while many of us have been